All right, we're live. Hello, we are here. Oh, yes, we're here. A little bit late, but we're here nonetheless. I had my injection this morning, so I was gonna not be live at the new time, which is around 6 a.m., 6:30, and then I just got to doom scrolling on the old YouTube. The old doom scroller. There was a lot of doom. So, I'm happily away from that. Shall we jump into some Skyrim then? Oh yes. I think we shall. Just pausing the music so I can launch the game. Mouth is a bit dry, so I'm going to have some water before I have my coffee. Okay. But I do have coffee, so the coffee sign will go up. I think I need to, get symbols, like not symbols as in like emojis or whatever, for, say coffee time, making coffee, on break, that sort of thing. Because then I can have a neat little, icon for Shang that, it's coffee time, or it's tea time, or I'm making coffee. It's a little chilly with the air conditioning on, but if I turn it off, then it'll get too warm. Now, I could increase the temperature to make it slightly less cold. But I also like it when it's cold. Helps me sleep better. But it is a bit chilly with the AC on. Don't worry, Skyrim is launching. It's just taking a while. I think I need to do like a little bit of like housekeeping for OBS and just streaming in general. Like I need those icons like I mentioned. I need more Remys. I need more Remys so that there's a Bandit Skyrim Remy, so that there's a Kingdoms of Amalur, like probably Freeman Remy. And then I need like Ghost Recon Wildlands, like Santa Blanca Remy. Because those are the current games, is Skyrim, Fallout 4, which I do have a Raider Remy, and all that. So, plus, like, I want to get music stuff set up so that I can simply turn music on and off with a hotkey and not just be playing it straight off of YouTube. So that way I can just, do that. Plus, if I ever get a MIDI keyboard, and then set that up in OBS, and then have, that as like extra hotkeys, then that would be something too. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, game, you good? Game? Okay. A little confused there for a second. Okay. Okay, so we do indeed have a coffee. And if we go to here, we have 83 days remaining in prison before having to go back to Whiterun and serve 5 additional days. Come on, game. Come on! Ugh, Christ. Alright. And I have decided to not use the NOPA no power armor mod, because if I wasn't joining the Brotherhood of Steel, I might use it. But according to some talks with people on Discord, and some general research I've done, when you do the Minutemen Conquered Museum quest, you don't actually have to use the power armor. You just have to get the fusion core from my own testing. But other people have said that this indeed does potentially break the Brotherhood of Steel quest line, where one of the quest objectives is to enter power armor. So I'm like, okay. And the reason I'm even asking around is because no power armor mod, NOPA, has a disclaimer saying, you know, this removes all power armor frames from the world. This is going to break quests, so don't use it if you're going to use the vanilla quests. So I went and asked around, like, do I actually have to use power armor for something like the Brotherhood of Steel? And it's not so much that the game would force me to use it over and over and over again, but rather it probably has it as a required quest objective. Once that quest objective is complete, I can probably just get right out of it. Now, some of you might wonder why I would remove power armor frames from the world. Well, because I do enjoy taking Skyrim and Fallout 4 and making it my own experience. I want a tactical Stalker Tarkov experience from Fallout 4. And part of that is removing what makes it Fallout 4. I know, it's very silly, but it's how I do things. But because NOPA potentially breaks quests that I plan to do, then I'm probably not going to use NOPA. And as such, I think I'm going to use the Juggernaut Power Armor Replacer, which replaces Power Armor with Call of Duty Juggernaut outfits. But I'm also going to use a mod that makes it so that Arturo sells power armor pieces. But I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to remove that. Because Rowdy from the Atom Cats also sells power armor pieces, not just frames, but armor pieces. So I figured it would be more of a challenge to only have the one, and then I have to do Adam Cat's stuff, I'm assuming, to even get access to such a vendor. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. And, what else? I thought about keeping Commonwealth Gallery. I thought about removing Commonwealth Gallery. But if I can't remove power armor from the game completely, then I'm probably not going to use a vanilla weapon replacer. And then as such, I'm probably gonna use Commonwealth Gallery because those items are still somewhat vanilla. The only issue I see being a problem is coming across enemies that would have armor or clothing that I would need for my displays, but just how do I say? But then, like, not having those items making it exceedingly difficult to find. Now, I do believe I can still loot those items in chests or other containers. So I don't think it's too much of an issue. Hey, there we go. First day passed. Should probably have my coffee before it gets cold. Oh, my thumb. My thumb is in pain. That was weird, too. I woke up to my thumb kind of being in pain. And then I gotta let my folks who run and play various tabletop games, one of which is scheduled for Sunday, that I won't be able to make it on Sunday because the way scheduling is currently going, because it's being changed, we're going to be starting earlier in the day, but then earlier in the day means if I go grocery shopping, I can't make it. So I'm fine with the schedule change. I just have to let them know, hey, I can't make it. We're going to have to schedule for another day. So okay. And I would use the EFT quote-unquote Juggernaut armor mod that replaces power armor with EFT quote-unquote Juggernaut outfits. But that requires a mod that is exceedingly difficult to get access to. Because it was on another Discord server, but then the mod author was running out of space on their Google Drive, so they moved it over to Mediafire. Except they didn't make them individual files, they put it in folders, which requires you to bulk download them. What's the issue? Well, in order to bulk download multiple files on Mediafire, you have to pay to do that. You're not paying the mod author, you're paying the site. But it's like, I don't want to spend $10 a month to get and give my bank information to a kind of shady website just to download one mod once. So I instead opted for someone's Juggernaut file they had for Call of Duty Juggernaut outfits. And then I grabbed the Call of Duty Juggernaut replacer for power armor. And because I'm not going to be replacing vanilla weapons, I instead opted to to remove the vanilla unique framework and instead go for both the attachment pack and unique uniques. However, I think with the attachment pack, to be safer with unique uniques, I need to remove the attachment pack add-on that randomizes vanilla weapons to have attachments from the attachment pack. And I wish Degenerate Dak would make one for melee weapons, which I think is what people have been clamoring for, hence a April Fool's joke where they released a melee attachment pack, but it was for one weapon, and it was to make it an oversized, a comically oversized bonking hammer. So I thought that was a good joke. I do want a melee attachment pack, but it's probably in the works, and it's going to take some time to release. And if the mod author just doesn't want to make it, well, I would like it, but, you know, it's whatever. Taking my shoes off. Ah, my feet can breathe. And, what else do I want to add to Fallout 4? We're more or less going through the list of tracked mods. Gonna have more coffee. Welcome in, Sweet Juicy. Hello, welcome in. I'm doing okay. Just a little late to the stream today. I had my injection this morning, and then I was doom scrolling on YouTube for a bit. Even though my brain was like, you need to stream, start the stream. So I was just dragging my feet. And I wasn't really feeling okay mentally before the stream, but now that we're streaming, I feel better. Not an injection for pain. I have... Just putting my coffee to the side. I have schizophrenia, and I receive a monthly injection for treatment. So it's just the medication I get is an injection form. And it used to be every 2 weeks. But now it's just a month, so... I may not come across as schizophrenic, but that is mostly because I am very well and heavily medicated. And the nice part is, I'm no longer on any oral medication. Because the doctor had me on a new oral medication, and then I just kept forgetting to take it. I wanted to take it, I just kept forgetting to. And then the doctor was like, well, do you feel any different? Are you feeling, like, worse? I was like, no, not really. And they didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. So they just took me off the oral med. Like, no reason to take it if you're not feeling any different off it. So, welcome in, Uncle Robert. Hello, hello. Oral meds are the worst. Even when I remember to take mine, I really hate taking pills. I have no issue taking pills. I would just forget. Or it would be like, you know, I gotta take it at 8 p.m. at night. And then it would be, you know, 10 o'clock the next morning. And I'd be like, oh, fuck, I forgot. And then so on and so forth. So, you forget to take oral meds? Yeah. And sure, the injection hurts, but it's not excruciatingly painful. And usually by the time I get home, I've already forgotten about the pain. And it used to be intramuscular, which meant that the needle and solution would go into my muscle, in either the arm or the hip. And now it's subcutaneous, which means it goes just under the skin, preferably in the fat tissue. And since I got a lot of fat on my belly, they just inject it there. So they basically have like a quadrant system where they do left of the belly button and upper or lower, and then the other half is right of the belly button, upper or lower. And really the only complications I feel from the medication is literally feeling it, because it's supposed to distribute the medication over a month, and then it's supposed to dissipate. But what it is it's this little ball of medicine that's under my skin, and it's supposed to be gone after like a month. Well, it takes about 2, sometimes 3 months for it to completely go away, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt unless I push on it, but I'm also not supposed to do that, so doesn't hurt. It's mostly unnoticeable. I just have to make sure to feel around so that the nurse doesn't put it in the exact same spot. You have memory impairment, but I always take my night meds. You take olanzapine for bipolar. I haven't heard of that medication, but a lot of the medication that I do know of is either ones that I've taken before or ones that are a bit older. So, like, new meds I'm not super familiar with, but, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, the medication I used to get for injections, which was intramuscular, it made me feel alright, but I was never really 100%. And even though the new medication is technically the same, but the solution is slightly different, I feel, like, fantastic while I'm on it. In fact, interestingly enough, the only time I've felt any particularly negative emotions was this morning when I was doom scrolling on YouTube. And I think, like, normally when I'm doom scrolling on YouTube, my brain just shuts off. Like, my brain is just consume information. But I was feeling a little depressed, and I think that partially has to do with some family health stuff that has been going on the last couple days that I'm not really going to divulge. I'm not really going to get into it. But it kind of was starting to affect me today. And then doom scrolling on YouTube made it worse. But I'm feeling fine now. I'm okay right now. So, like, the only time that I've really felt any negative emotions was today after my injection, after I got home, and that was mostly influenced due to some family issues going on. So that's kind of understandable considering the gravity of what was going on. So, yeah. Otherwise, the medication makes me feel like I'm shooting over the moon. Like, you know, makes me feel great. And it only took, you know, so many years after taking so many different medications and many different injections to actually feel this way, which I would rather take it this long to feel this way than for it to take this long and for it to not feel this way, which is a lot of the cases with some people, where they just get medicine and medicine and medicine. It just doesn't seem to do anything, except, you know, make them suffer the side effects. Where I feel great. So, I'm happy to continue receiving this medication. But, in other news, I have yet to actually work on my D&D world like I wanted to, mostly because I think I kind of needed this, but over the last couple days, I've been vegetating. I've just been like watching streams, watching YouTube videos, not really doing a whole lot. Like even when it came to modding up Fallout 4 off stream, it was just kind of like, I don't feel like doing it right now. Remy, do you got some dried up slobber next to your ear, you little silly cat? So I've just been taking some time to just kind of just vibe, to just kind of, I don't really want to use the term de-stress, but more or less I was de-stressing, I think. Hi, Remy, what you doing? I'm taking your loose tufts of fur. What you gonna do about it? Hi, Bubba. Speaking of loose tufts, I see one right there. Hi, Remy. How you doing? Hi, kitty cat. Hi, what you doing? Hi, Remy. And again, I need to get more bandit-style Remy's not drawn up, but photoshopped, so that I can have it for OBS. Which is kind of why, like, I should almost do like a kind of a housekeeping stream where I just kind of do stuff in OBS, and of course stream it, because everything is content. So like we could spend time in Photoshop, we could spend time getting music together, that sort of thing. So looking at GPUs, shocked how high they are. I haven't been keeping up with GPU prices recently, but I know they've gone down since the pandemic, but they might have gone back up recently. It's gonna suck when I actually have the budget for the PSU and GPU I want to get, only for the GPUs to increase in price. Because the GPU I want to get is the 3060 Super with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. And since those are, and I roll my eyes at this, but you can't see me, old, it's technically old now. So, like, it might be a little higher in price. But wouldn't that mean it should be cheaper? Well, I don't think they've stopped manufacturing it, but it might mean they've slowed the manufacturing of it, and thus, you know, the demand is still there, but the, what is the other word? Supply. The supply might not be there, which leads to the item being more expensive. $1,000 retail, want a 4070 Super or 4080? It's also like the 40 series isn't that old. So like people are still wanting to buy it a lot. So the price might be driven up simply by the demand, even though the supply is definitely there. But I know when I was, and this was around December of last year, so who knows what the prices are now. But when I was looking at the 3060 Super with 12 gigabytes of VRAM back in last December, it was around $300, maybe a little more. So my budget, since I'm probably going to need a new power supply for when I get my new GPU. Hi, Remy. Hi, baby boy. My budget is $500 for those two items. Hi, Remy. But I would be a little upset if the GPU I want to get is, you know, a little more than what I am planning for a budget. Now, it's not a big deal for the budget because I'm going to be saving up for other PC parts. But it's going to suck because that just means it's going to take longer for me to save it up. And considering I won't be able to save up money during probably September, October, November, and December, that's gonna pretty much cap it out to August. But bless you, Remy. But the reason I won't be saving up money during the last 3 to 4 months of the year is because Remy gets his yearly checkup at the vet in December. Plus all his shots and everything. And depending on what they need done, it's going to cost a little extra or not. So I want to make sure I have enough money for that. Hi, Remy. It's okay, it's okay. Come here. Come here. Okay, let me get the gunk off your face. Alright, come here. That's a good boy. Okay, you're good to go, Remy. So, when it comes to saving up money for PC parts, having 3 to 4 months kind of like locked away from that, it makes it harder to save up because it takes longer. Where hopefully if I can get those 2 parts I want to get, without too many issues, then I'll be able to start saving up for the next couple of parts. Starting, if I could guess, in either July or August. When I have the video call for disability, I'm hoping I get back pay. I'll spend it on a PC. Nice. I gotta... oh, Remy, you hit the mouse. The camera went upside down. I need to talk to my mom, because she's my SSI payee. And I need her to call my credit card company and be like, if we spent this much money from the available credit, how much would our monthly bill increase to? Because I'm wondering if maybe it would be better if I spent some of my available credit on a new PC and then just spending months to pay extra on that. But I'm only concerned about that because with the way my current balance is, and I'm not going to give you the details on the numbers, if my balance goes up by a significant amount, it might be more than what I can afford to pay every month. So I don't know if that's what I want to do. I don't know the numbers other than about the amount that I spend every month to pay for the bills. But certainly I think knowing the numbers might be a little easier to determine that. And certainly, regardless if I use my credit card to buy a new PC or not, I think once my PC is paid for, the parts and all that, I want to spend that extra money to pay more on my credit card every month. Because then that can be paid off, hopefully soon. And then once that's paid off, then I will just simply close the account. And it's like, oh, that'll hurt your credit score. Bro, my credit score doesn't matter. I'm disabled. I live in public housing. It doesn't matter what my credit score is. And it likely won't for the rest of my life. But if I keep the account open, then I'm still going to have to pay on it. Regardless if my balance goes down. And the balance is how much I owe. And it's not like I'm in a crazy amount of credit card debt. Like, I think the last I checked, it was like a few thousand. But because I have a near perfect payment history, like I've pretty much paid all of the bills all the time over many years since I was in college in 2010 or 11. They keep giving me like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of available credit, which is kind of a trap. Because it's like, if I spend that, then I'm gonna owe that. And it's also like, I think now I literally have over $10,000 of available credit, but I can't really spend any of it because then my monthly bill will be too high. Oh, okay, Remy. Go over there, little guy. So I'd rather just pay it off and then close it. And some might go, oh, but emergencies. Like, I guess, but I really don't like the idea of I have like $15,000 of available credit and I can't use any of it. I had $15,000 in credit card debt. I filed for bankruptcy so I didn't have to pay for it. Well, I don't know if that's really going to be a case for me. And the only emergencies I can really think of that I would need to spend my credit card for would be like an emergency for Remy. Like if Remy needed an emergency vet visit and it's going to cost thousands of dollars to pay for, then that's what I would use it for. Like if my computer dies tomorrow, I really don't know if I would spend my credit card on getting a new one. Maybe a cheap laptop. But yeah. Hi, Remy. But yeah, I need to figure out the numbers and what I can pay and what I can't pay. Plus, I don't even... Why are we in jail? Because I have mods for Skyrim that when I get to a walled city that has a gate, that I have to pay the gate toll to enter the city. And I also have mods where if I'm in prison, we spend real time in prison for about 5 hours per day in game. So not 5 hours IRL, just 5 hours in game, which amounts to about 35 to 37 minutes. Which sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer, it's hard to tell. And every day that I'm in jail, my bounty goes down by 10 gold until I've finally reached 0 gold bounty, and then they release me. Now, how did I actually end up in jail? I went to the city gate to enter, but because I was freezing to death from another mod, when the guard force greeted me into dialogue for paying the gate toll, I panicked and backed out of the dialogue, which accrued 625 gold bounty for not paying the lawfully owed gate toll. And that's when the second guard force greeted me into the gate toll dialogue, which, due to the panic of the situation, I also backed out of that dialogue in a panic, resulting in a second 625 gold bounty. And because my character is supposed to be a lawful character, he's supposed to be quote-unquote a good guy, but there's an asterisk to that, he was like, alright, I'll serve my time in jail. And because it was a total of 1,250 gold bounty, which is enough to count as a murder and a trespass, we have had to spend 125 days in jail, of which we're on day 82. Or rather, we have 82 days remaining. And of course, like I said, our gold bounty goes down by 10 gold every day, so it's technically at a bounty of 820. And the reason I was even coming to Windhelm was because I had a missive or quest to deliver an item to a person in Windhelm. And with the missives quests that are deliveries, they are timed. And if you fail to deliver the item in time, it counts as you stealing it. So I got a 50 gold bounty in Whiterun for not delivering the item in time. The other reason I came to Windhelm, aside from delivering the item to get paid to deliver the item, was to talk to quote-unquote a gym bro in the form of Stenvar. Stenvar is a mercenary character in the tavern that you can pay to come with. But if you just talk to him about exercising, he can give you the power Stay in Shape, which is from the Stay in Shape mod, which is an add-on to a mod called Pumping Iron, where your activity and food you eat increases your character weight, which is to simulate that you're building muscle. We also have another mod that is supposed to be an add-on for those two mods, Pumping Iron and Stay in Shape, that your character's weight determines your character's strength, which determines whether or not you can actually wield a weapon. Other things that determine whether we can actually wield a weapon is our current skill level that the weapon uses, and what material that weapon is made out of, which determines what skills we need. Oh, we passed another day. And we have to be actually trained in those specific skills, like seeing a trainer or reading a book. And so we have to be trained in the skill, have our skill high enough, and have enough strength to use the item. And all that, plus just general survival, costs money, because we need to be able to buy food, buy water, stay in taverns, and eventually, hopefully, purchase a home. But I specifically made my character low weight, so that they pretty much have to go from 0 to hero. And so our character is trained in one-handed weapons, although I plan to use two-handed weapons. But he's not strong enough to use the one-handed weapon that I purchased, which I should have purchased a wooden weapon, which isn't going to do much damage, but it's better than using my fists. And the Raga Iron Mace that I purchased, I cannot use because I am not strong enough to use it. And even so, I don't know if my skill level is high enough to use it. And I set the skill levels in the MCM menu for what materials require what skill level to use. And basically, iron is pretty low, but it's not the lowest. I think the lowest is technically wood, and iron is a step or two above that. But I don't even know what my one-handed skill is at. I think my one-handed is at 20. And iron requires, I believe it's, I don't even remember what it's called. Let's see. Equipment restriction. Set levels. So iron is 20. So pretty much we just need to become strong enough to wield iron weapons. But once we're able to, we can use iron. So these were set to a specific default, but I modified it because I didn't think it was hard enough. So this includes magic as well. So wood requires 0. Iron requires 20. Steel requires 30. Bound weapons require 20. Draugr actually requires 15. Hide armor requires 5. And we plan to use heavy armor and two-handed weapons. Dragon, which is the best, requires skill 100. And all this other stuff requires other stuff. So, and the reason I have Imperial and Stormcloak set so low is so that if I were to ever join the Imperials or Stormcloaks, that I could actually use the weapons they issued to me, or weapons and armor. So, we have pretty decent levels here, so that it's both fair and yet still a challenge. So, Ebony requires 80, Daedric requires 90, and Dragon requires 100. And due to my own adjustments to things like Bone Mold, Chitin, Stalrim, that I changed the required levels appropriately to match my own personal adjustments to the armor and weapons. So that's what that's looking like. Like I said, we serve real time in jail, but it really only equates to about 5 in-game hours, which is about 32 to 37 and a half minutes. Which is why we've already served 2 additional days, because we were already serving time from the last time we were playing this yesterday, so it was in between days. Or it was in between a day, between the sessions. And then, now that we're at 52 minutes in the stream, just a bit ago, we passed the second day for the stream. So that's how that works. We have a shitload of mods, more than I probably need. But this is Medieval Skyrim. This is Season 2. This is the Lawbringer run. Season 1 was the Bard. She was fun to play, but it ended up breaking down after a while. Mostly because I kept adding and removing things and patching things mid-run. And that's one thing I need to not do. I need to not touch files mid-run. Unless something breaks and removing a file or mod would fix it. Which I had to do quite often for my Bard. So, Medieval Skyrim Lawbringer is about my
We shall
character.
conjure
Oh,
a southern wind.
a southern wind indeed. Welcome in, Mr. Necro. Thank you for the fart. I hope you're doing well today. Yeah, this is my Lawbringer. He's supposed to be the justice-dispensing, vigilante, halberd-using, heavy armor-wearing character. And I want it to be a super struggle, which is why we're spending time in jail, just more or less talking, doing a Just Chatting stream, basically, as we pass the time. And again, I keep reiterating this.
You're not canceled! You're a criminal!
Basically. So it is only about 5 hours in-game, which is not a full in-game day, because 24 hours in-game is what it should be. But what that does mean is that when we quote-unquote pass the day, it doesn't take forever. Because if it was going to be like 24 hours in-game, which I was totally signing up for, having to spend 125 days in jail was going to be a bit of a struggle. And I have been reinvigorated to spend my time in jail instead of just reloading to an older save, because I had not played Skyrim in a while, because we're focusing on Fallout 4, mostly because in April, Fallout was really hot, and it still is. So we do 2 hours of Jailhouse Just Chatting, where I yap while my character sits in prison. And then after the 2 hours, or close to it, we switch to Fallout 4, and because Season 2 of Broken Arrow, my Fallout 4 mod list, has broken down, we're now moving on to Season 3, which is going to be Stalker, Tarkov-themed, ultra-tactical, that sort of thing. And I'm basically... think I'll make some popcorn? Ooh. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I could go for some popcorn, to be honest. But... I'm on, like, the last few ESP slots available. So more or less, I'm just going through the mods in my tracked list of mods and being like, which ones are full ESPs that are going to be totally worth using, and which ones are ESLified or straight up ESLs. And I've removed some mods, like I was using a Stalker Lost World merged music mod collection for music, but then those were taking up quite a few ESPs, so I'm like, well, I've already made my own custom soundtrack, which I can just use with no plugins, and I made my own custom radio, which also doesn't use plugins. Well, what if I just did that instead of having like 4 or 5 plugins for music? But then I thought, well, I could still use the personalized music mod for Fallout 4, which would be 1 plugin versus several. So I might do that just to have a wider variety of music. Otherwise, I'm totally fine just taking my own custom music mod and replacing the songs with less Ghost Recon music and more Division music, and maybe even some Stalker music as well. Gotta drink some water. Now, I'm not too concerned with copyrighted music, although I certainly won't be flaunting it. But there is a mod called Pip Pod, play on words for iPod, where you can download it, and you can get a choice of, I think, 30 to 40 or 50 songs that are custom songs that you add to the folder. And I thought, maybe if we have an ESP slot, we'll use it. Because then we can just add a shitload of random music to the game via radio. I also got rid of the Gopnik radio mod because it said Gopnik radio, but it ended up just playing like a bunch of old Soviet opera songs, and I'm like, well, if it's not really Gopnik radio, I can just make my own. Because that's what I plan to do. The classical radio, for which is basically the radio that comes out of the Institute, that I'm probably going to replace with like Molchat Doma, which is a Russian like doomer music band. And then the Diamond City radio, I'm probably going to replace with like Russian hard bass. Similar music like that. I even removed the Civil Defense radio, which is more lore friendly. Like it's got like old 50s tunes. It's, you know, and the actual like personalized radio messages are pretty much like civil defense is good for the country. You know, a happy neighbor is a safe neighbor, that sort of thing. So it's very lore friendly, but it wasn't friendly to the vision I have for the mod list. Which, strangely enough, we're not replacing vanilla armor and weapons. We're keeping the vanilla armor and weapons. We just have a bunch of tactical stuff piled on top. And to be honest, I never really got to fully use the mod known as Unique Uniques, which is building on vanilla weapons. So the fact that I'm not going to be replacing vanilla weapons, I'm not going to be replacing vanilla armors, is kind of like, well, now I can try out Unique Uniques again. Plus, we have a mod called Commonwealth Gallery, which is a facsimile of the Legacy of the Dragonborn mod for Skyrim, but for Fallout 4, in the sense that you go to a location where the gallery is, you enter the gallery, and it has all these different displays, and you just display your stuff. The one criticism I have of it is it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. That is kind of really off the beaten path. The other criticism I have is when I'm trying to use the door to exit the gallery, it just goes into an infinite loading screen. But if I just COC to the nearest town, which is Natick Banks, then it works fine. So that's kind of what I have to do, but I'm willing to do it. And I was going to use a mod called NOPA, no power armor, but it breaks... It says it breaks the Concord Museum vanilla quest with the Minutemen, but in my testing, I found that to not be true, because you don't actually have to get in the power armor in the Concord Museum, you just have to get the fusion core. Don't even have to use it. But I rolled randomly to determine what faction we are going to choose, and it rolled on Brotherhood of Steel, which is like, I've been trying to join the Brotherhood of Steel by choice the last couple times, and it's always fallen through. But with the NOPA no power armor mod, according to what someone told me on the Arabies Discord, that there may be some quests in the Brotherhood of Steel quest line that this NOPA no power armor mod said that it's going to break, that you may actually have to get into power armor for. And because the mod says if there's no power armor, it's going to break these quests, since I do plan to join the Brotherhood of Steel, I'm like, okay, I won't use NOPA no power armor. So then I'm like, well, I do like collecting power armor, and this gallery like has power armor displays as well as vanilla weapon and clothing displays, as I'm assuming various other items as well. I'm like, you know what? Let's just use power armor. Not use power armor, but have power armor in the game. But I'm also, for the visual theme, we're using a Call of Duty Juggernaut armor to replace characters wearing power armor. But for other additional mod-added NPCs who use power armor, that would require patching. But because power armor already exists in the world, I'm just going to let the Juggernaut power armor overhaul replace outfits that use power armor. But if anybody else uses power armor that the replacer doesn't cover, then I'll just let it be. And because characters that would use power armor in the vanilla game might not use it with the Juggernaut power armor replacer, I've also added a mod. I don't think I did add it. Okay. I was trying to remember. I added a mod called Arturo sells power armor, but then I realized, wait, this just makes it so that Arturo can sell power armor, but the mod says that in the vanilla game, Rowdy from the Adam Cat's Garage sells power armor pieces, where Arturo just sells frames. So I thought, well, why don't I just keep Rowdy as the only one who sells power armor pieces for the extra challenge, so that I don't have multiple ways of getting things. So I'm going to be removing Arturo sells power armor, but keeping the Call of Duty Juggernaut power armor replacer. But otherwise, as far as gun mods go, I think we're done. I think we're done adding gun mods. It's not every gun I want. It's not of various tech levels that I want of gun mods. But what it is a good variety of gun mods that cover both Russian and more American-style guns, which I wanted both. And since I'm getting both, that's pretty good. And considering it doesn't take up all of my mod list, just a good third of it, I'm able to have such a wide variety of selections, including vanilla weapons. And we do have the Degenerate DAC vanilla attachment pack, or I think it's just called the attachment pack, which is for vanilla weapons. I get to have a little extra variety with vanilla weapons. The only thing I have to do is remove the randomized attachment pack mod, which makes it so that vanilla weapons can be spawned with random attachments from the attachment pack. You know, the reason I don't want to have that is because, again, we have unique uniques, and the way unique uniques works is it, through quests, somehow distributes unique attachments to vanilla weapons, but only for the unique named vanilla weapons. So if I have a mod that randomizes vanilla weapons to have random attachments from another mod, that might conflict with how weapons turn out from unique uniques. And even though unique uniques and vanilla weapons and all that don't really fit the Stalker Tarkov theme, I'm willing to leave it, least of all so it's less work for me, because I know when I made one of my vanilla weapon replacers, one of my own custom ones, there goes another day, it resulted in instant CTDs on boot. So I'm like, what the fuck did I do wrong? So pretty much I had to remake my my vanilla weapon replacer, which did not encompass every single vanilla weapon, just most of them. And I'm kind of a perfectionist to my own detriment. Oh, I got another lockpick. Hooray. Which is going to come in handy. Because I'm such a stupid perfectionist, you know, which is not a good thing, I was like, either I'm having none of it or I'm having all of it. So not only do I save myself the mental anguish from that, but I also save myself the time and effort it takes to make and test such a thing. Same thing with the vanilla armor, where I don't have to go through the time and effort and hard work it takes to replace all those vanilla armors to make sure that they have male and female versions. Because if I do that, that's going to be a big headache. It's not going to be impossible. I might even enjoy doing it. It's still a headache. So I'm going to keep vanilla armors and vanilla weapons, and yes, even vanilla power armor the same, but just remove the stuff, or not remove the stuff, but just add on other stuff on top of it. So and I think for my next run of Fallout 4 after Broken Arrow, which we're going to keep doing Broken Arrow, but I think the next run of Fallout 4 after that, is either going to be my actual lore-friendly profile or the Dust Bowl profile, which is melee, desert kind of thing. Because I want to add various like desert punk, like raider stuff, Mad Max style themes to Dust Bowl, but also mostly have it just be melee. Least of all for the challenge. Because fighting human enemies, easy enough. Fighting wasteland monstrous creatures with just melee, that's a little different. Plus, trying to think. Plus, I patched the stim packs to apply stim pack effects to a bottle of alcohol that I just call the strong stuff. So it has drinking animations due to immersive animation framework. It has the healing properties of stim packs, but it has the benefits and drawbacks of drinking alcohol. So in order to heal with just the basic item, you drink alcohol, which I thought was a super cool idea. And we have a driving mod called Drivable Humvees for Broken Arrow. Not Drivable Humvees, it's Humvees of the Commonwealth. No. Humvees of Fallout, that's what it's called. It doesn't require drivable cars, but it just says you should use drivable cars because it works together. Where drivable cars adds a bunch of very lore-friendly designs of drivable cars. It's all pretty self-explanatory. But I'm like, that doesn't fit the visual theme of Broken Arrow, but I'll keep Humvees because it fits, even though they're a little more fantastical. But I'll add drivable cars to Dust Bowl and the lore-friendly run I want to do. So I need to figure out what the next run of Fallout 4 is going to be after the next run. So I need to figure out what the next run is going to be. Whether that's going to be a lore-friendly setup or Dust Bowl. And Dust Bowl, basically, I was playing it for a little bit on stream, but basically what it is that was more or less a proof of concept kind of thing. So, but I am very much excited to try it out again. But I want to actually go through my list of mods and be like, okay, let's add this stuff and this stuff and this stuff. And even though I'm not playing as Val, my main Fallout OC, on the next run of Broken Arrow, we're going to be playing a Russian lad named Sasha. Dust Bowl features, and it might not only feature, but it might also have Val's son, Matthias. But otherwise, the main character for Dust Bowl is Punished Joe, which is a raider, skinny guy that looks fucked up and has a bunch of scars and facial bruises. Hence the name Punished Joe. And that's more of a comedy character. And the whole vibe of Dust Bowl is supposed to be like Mad Max, kind of Borderlands aesthetic. And I'm contemplating using...
Oh! Honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned. Come to me openly, and not by stealth.
Camera! Native! Welcome in. Hello, hello. Thank you for the raid. Let me get you a shout out here. Native Yin, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. If you have any post-stream things to do, we will take care of your community. Let's see, you were playing it... oh. Thanks, Streamlabs. Thanks for turning off the thing that I did not turn off myself. we'll get you another shout out because we have the Twitch shout outs, and then we have the actual Streamlabs shout outs. But thank you, I appreciate it. Again, if you have any post stream stuff to do, be sure to do it. We'll take care of you. Gonna have to sit here in silence while I set up Streamlabs. But I hope what you were playing was fun. I hope it was good. I gotta turn on CloudBot because it turns itself off all the time. There we go. Gonna get the house ready for rain. Well, stay safe. We had some nasty storms here recently as well. Let's see. You were playing Software Inc. For those who don't know who I am Lou. Remy is my cat. He owns 50% of the channel. And we stream Skyrim, Fallout 4, some other games. We're currently doing 2 variety games on the side. We're doing Kingdoms of Amalur on Mondays and Ghost Recon Wildlands on Fridays. We're going to get other variety games in there soon. But Skyrim and Fallout 4 are going to be dominating throughout the week. And I'm going to shill this because this is a prime opportunity. Oh, my neck. Welcome in, Chaotic Tavris. Welcome in. Hello, hello. I'm going to shill this. June 1st is my stream anniversary. The anniversary of the first day I streamed on this channel. Specifically on this channel, because I had previous channels, but I didn't really find identity with them, so I just abandoned those channels. But this channel has been going since June 1st of 2016. So we are going to be streaming on that day. I'm specifically going to tell my D&D folks, hey, I will not be available on that day. Because I thought maybe, oh, if I have D&D, then I'll just stream a different day. But no, I think I'm going to have to make a point to stream on June 1st, which is a Saturday. So look forward to a stream anniversary. And what that might entail is we're just going to stream Skyrim and Fallout 4 probably, and not do too much else. Speaking of Skyrim, we are currently in jail in Windhelm, serving our sentence in real time, asterisk. And we're just kind of waiting until I get let out. And that is going to be, after how many days we've served so far, I think that's currently 80 days. So we have 800 East March bounty, and our bounty goes down by 10 for every day served until we reach 0 bounty, which would then they will let us out. So we have 80 days remaining in prison. So during these kind of prison stays, I just basically turn this into a Jailhouse Just Chatting stream, basically. Because then we can just talk about bullshit while my character serves his sentence. And then after 2 hours, which we're currently sitting at 1 hour and 17 minutes, at the 2 hour mark, or close to it, we will switch to some Fallout 4. And because my current, or should I say previous, Fallout 4 run fell through the cracks because of a bug with a mod, we are currently modding up Fallout 4 for the next run. So we're more or less on our last few ESP slots, and we're going through our list of tracked mods to determine what mods we want to add. And currently, we're in the midst of a settlement bulk add, where we're adding one settlement mod, testing it, and then adding it again. Welcome in, Tag. Hello, hello. How goes the Skyrim? Very good. We are sitting in jail, serving 80 more days, while I just sit here and yap. So I hope you're doing well, Tag. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone in chat is doing well. We're going to be doing Fallout 4 here in a little bit, about 40 or so minutes. So a lot of those settlement mods that I'm adding that basically take vanilla locations and turn them into settlements, they are very compatible But here's the thing. It says on the mod page, depending on the mod, of course, because one of them is more of a framework, and it says to put it high in the load order, but the actual additional settlement mods require it to be way low in the load order, which in my testing has turned into quite a compatible setup. The only issue I've had is when looking through a specific object at a specific angle from the corner of my eye, I saw that the occlusion planes were kind of fucking up, but otherwise the settlement was fine. So, doing well myself, prepping the Millennia fight for all my Remembrances runs for Elden Ring. Nice. Hope that goes well. I know Millennia is quite difficult from what I've seen. But, yeah, we're just kind of going through the mods. And the nice thing about those additional vanilla location settlement mods from that specific mod author is they are ESLified, which means they don't take up a slot in my load order, which is nice. Be glad when this open wound on your groin will heal up, which is going to take a year. Yeah, I hope it heals up good, because my dad has had foot injuries, not recently, but within the last few years, to where he's had to have many surgeries done. And I think he just started healing from that, like, last year. And, of course, because he has diabetic neuropathy in his feet, he can't feel his feet. And so sometimes he breaks his toes without even realizing it, simply because he bumps his feet into things and, well, he doesn't feel it. So I think he has a broken toe that he's going to have to get looked at. 2 surgeries so far. Okay. I hope it things are going to heal up good. Heal up good and quick. With few if not no complications. And yeah. I'm also considering getting a fantasy profile set up for Skyrim as well, but this run is gonna, hopefully, last a long time, especially if I'm gonna be spending time in prison for most of it. Hopefully this run lasts a very long time. But the fantasy profile is going to be far fewer mods. It's going to incorporate more fantasy, MCO, anime, chicanery movesets, which I don't want for medieval Skyrim, but would be fine for a fantasy profile. And I also want to think about adding Legacy of the Dragonborn. But otherwise, as far as things go, it's going to be like less mods, hopefully. I say that, and then I'll add 2,000 mods like I did for this one. And even if we're doing medieval Skyrim for the next run of Skyrim after this one, or the fantasy profile, we will be using Seasons of Skyrim with all its little doohickeys and add-ons. So, because I'm currently using the Winter Overhaul 2019, which adds snow and ice everywhere, but Seasons of Skyrim, because of Seasons Change for Fallout 4, has led me to like that sort of thing. We'll be using Seasons of Skyrim on the next run, regardless of what it is. Which, Seasons of Skyrim is a little complicated to set up. But kind of once set up, it's... hashtag it just works. However, with Seasons Change for Fallout 4, that was a lot simpler to set up. Especially since someone made a patch for Seasons Change trees to work with Advanced Needs 76 wood chopping. Now, I don't think in Advanced Needs 76 that you can chop down the trees, especially considering the mods for both Skyrim and Fallout 4 that do that sort of thing tend to be very, very buggy and not very stable. But what it does do in Advanced Needs 76 is allow you to hit a tree with a woodcutter's hatchet, which just gives you wood. You might think, well, why would you need that? Well, a couple things. One, with camping mods, let alone Advanced Need 76, which has its own camping system. Camping mods sometimes require wood to make a campfire. And the new version of the campsite mod, which is kind of like the campfire version of for Skyrim but for Fallout 4, the new version of that actually has a campfire kit that requires wood. And then Nuclear Winter, which is a winter kind of gameplay mod, that has a patch for campsite so that it adds a fire making kit that requires oil, a lighter, and wood. So welcome in, Coven. Hello, hello. How am I? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just yapping while in jail. I hope you're doing well. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. So wood will come in handy, especially as a common resource that I'm going to need for camping. Additionally, if I need wood for settlements, that'll be useful because I'm using the mod Clean and Smooth Settlements, which overhauls the vanilla, not even DLC, just the base game settlements so that they are mostly clean and smooth, but because it removes a lot of scrappable items, they add a resource chest as a compromise. However, I found that one, they add way too many resources that aren't there even in vanilla. And the fact that I enjoy having nothing, starting with nothing, being 0 to hero, I enjoy patching those containers, those resource chests, to not have any items in it at all, so that I actually have to go out and get it. And considering that was pretty easy to patch, I'm going to be doing that again. So being able to go up to a tree and hit it with a hatchet to get some wood is fairly useful. So that's why I'm using Seasons Change for Fallout 4, is not for the wood cutting, but specifically because it's a environmental mod that has a patch for wood cutting from the mod Advanced Need 76. So I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I'll just use that. Doing good? Just starting new work? Nice. Hope work is not working you too hard. Hi, Remy. What you doing? Plus today, I think I'm going to make tacos. I almost said nachos, but I'm like, well, I don't have any chips. I have tortilla wraps. So I'm going to be making tacos. Main reason I'm going to be making tacos is because I got all these taco making ingredients, and then I ran out of taco meat from making tacos with those ingredients, and I still had those ingredients left over, and I'm like, okay, well, we got to use these up, and I ain't going to complain about eating tacos. I love me some tacos. There was a little bit like last year where I was just having too much tacos, and I'm like, I don't want any more tacos. But now that I've stayed away, I've been making nachos and tacos for a little bit. Yeah, tacos are great. I have flour tortilla shells, mango salsa, sour cream. I just got some pickled jalapeno slices. If I really wanted to get adventurous, I could boil up the corn cobs I have, and basically turn that into a facsimile of Mexican street corn. But otherwise, if I really wanted to, I could boil those up and then cut the corn off the cob and put that in my tacos. It's been a hot minute since you've had nachos. Nice. Should get some, or make some. And, what else do I got? I got Roja sauce. I've got Chipotle Tabasco sauce. I got a lot of stuff I can add. I did have banana peppers, but then I used them on the tacos. So I'm all out of that. And I had pretzel buns for making cheese borglars, but then I made the borglars, and now I have leftover beef that I'm going to need to cook up for the tacos. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And even if I run out of taco food making ingredients in food over the week, which, considering it's Thursday and I go shopping on Sunday, I don't think that's going to happen. I still have chicken that I can thaw out, bread up, and fry in coconut oil, and have stir-fry veggies with, and add one of the sauces to. Because my Walmart sells various Asian sauces in the like Asian aisle, so I buy some of those, and I'm like, you know what? Let's fry up some chicken in some coconut oil. Let's make some stir-fry veggies. If I'm really feeling hungry, I'll make a cup of rice, and then we'll have that. But I need to use up my teriyaki sauce before I open up my new sauce bottle, which is Kung Pao sauce. And I want to get the orange chicken sauce as well. But I don't want to have like a whole helping of sauces that I'm barely using, so I can't buy any of those in a while. I want to get more popcorn, because making popcorn in coconut oil is very nice. And one of my favorite seasonings, which is chili and lime seasoning, I add to popcorn, which makes popcorn oh so tasty. So tasty. Hi, Remy. Are you just hanging out, getting your chest scritches? Yeah, you like your chest scritches. He's a happy boy. Hi, baby boy. Oh, you don't want to stretch? Okay. Hi, Remy. What you doing? Do you want more chest scritches? Yeah, that's a good boy. He's hanging out on the desk next to me. And I think because I'm going to have possibly leftover taco meat and definitely some chicken, I can get less food on Sunday because I'll have food I need to eat up. It's nice to have a surplus of food instead of running out every week. Hi, Remy. Hi. What? You want to paw me? Paw my hand? Touch my hand. What? Are you a good kitty cat? Are you a good boy? Yeah, he's just hanging out next to me. Hi, Remy. Remy and I were just touching heads. I put my head against his head, and we just kind of vibed there for a few seconds. Ain't that right, Remy? Hey. Hey, baby. Do you not like the smell of my finger? Does it smell like deodorant? I got D&D this Saturday, so there will be no extra stream on Saturday. And again, I go shopping on Sunday, so I might not want to have a stream on Sunday, but there's a chance. Because that's just it. Saturday and Sunday streams are extra streams, which means there's a chance they won't happen, but if they do, we do it. I'm going to be running this session on D&D on Saturday. It's going to be a continuation of Princes of the Apocalypse, which is a D&D 5th edition module. What? You don't want attention right now? Don't you bite, young man. Hey, I won't give you any more pets because you don't want them. Okay? And that has certainly been interesting because the players are, I'll give the story up to this point. Basically, they have been tasked with finding a delegation of knights and politicians who were sent from Waterdeep to go back to a Knight's Keep to deliver the interred corpse of a knight who had fallen, and they were basically going to have him buried at this place. So, a few weeks go by, and the delegation has gone missing. So the players are tasked with finding them. They get to a village that they were kind of like, that's the first stopping point. And they are, investigating in the village, and they more or less come across some suspicious, or specifically a suspicious lady who they interrogated and had her show them where some of their culty things were taking place, but it seems as though she was involved in a group that was a little bit of a small-time cult that was answering to a bigger group, which the players saw as masked figures on the upper parts of the hills, so they went to go chase them down. And then once the smaller group of cultists were more or less arrested and detained, the players went further on to another town, where they then went around to to get on the road to go to the castle, keep, whatever of knights that the knight that they were going to go deal with was going to be buried. Except they find off the side of the road a bunch of carts and dead bodies and all that strewn about what clearly had been a battlefield, and they end up finding the heraldry of the knights and the delegation that they were sent to go find. So they found them, and now they're trying to figure out, how did this happen? And throughout that's been happening through the adventure to that point, they're now determined to stop the cultists who they were basically chasing. And they found leads, as in they followed a trail of boot prints that led to a nearby river, which had the marks of keel boats having been pushed up on shore, which leads them to believe that whoever attacked this delegation likely came from and fled by this river on boat. They found some of the buried people who were on the bad guys' side that died in the battle, that one of them contained a mask, and they showed the mask to some folks that they were interrogating and were like, yep, that belongs to the Sacred Stone Monastery of monks. So they're like, why was there a monk in an attacking party that was attacking our delegation that we were sent to find? So they've been chasing that lead, but one of the leads that they decided to chase was the river. So they went from the battlefield site to the Knight's Keep, where they basically worked out a deal with their faction, which was the Order of the Gauntlet, with that knight faction, which was the Knights of Samular. And they're like, okay, let's have an alliance. So the Knights of Samular their head commander or grandmaster or whatever, she decided that she was going to help the players in whatever way would be best. And so she sent a knight to accompany them. And they basically went to a nearby town where there was a bunch of boats and barges that go up and down the river. And they noticed that on their map, there was a keep on the river. So they end up getting to a boat that is filled with some ne'er-do-wells. However, they managed to, through diplomacy, or rather speaking, maybe not diplomacy specifically, they intimidated the leader of this boat, who was a criminal, to take them to the keep where likely some bad guys were. And because the boat driver or captain or whatever was quote-unquote friendly to them, when they arrived, they were like, we want to talk to so-and-so's commander. Can we be allowed in? And because of the way the adventure was written, the bandits at that river keep were like, all right, come on in, we'll talk. So they get to the commander. The commander starts seeing through their bullshit once he realizes what some of the questions were. So the commander attacks them. Commander is actually a were-boar that transforms and infects one of the player characters who, through some role-playing later, decided he does not want to have this curse. He didn't embrace it, so he's going to have to deal with uncontrolled bursts of lycanthropy during the full moon phases. So they fight the bandit commander, who manages to flee temporarily at least, but they give chase. And basically there's a trap door under the keep that they were fighting the commander in. And basically this trapdoor led to an underground cave that led to the river. There were some emergency boats there, and basically what the players did was they chased him. He tried to get on a boat. They tried to chase him on their boats, but then sprang up some ghouls. You know, fantasy ghouls, not like Fallout ghouls. Some water-based ghouls sprang up out of the river and attacked the players. But in the combat, the players still somehow managed to stop the fleeing bandit commander and not only stop him, but catch him, tie him up, and put in their boat, which they then were like, well, if we go out through the river exit through the keep, we're probably gonna have to fight like 50 dudes, which is like, we're not doing that. But the other path in the cave led further in to what they didn't know. So they managed to come across this large, almost temple-like cave structure, of which when they got closer, they were met by some very obvious culty figures, one of which was a lady, kind of higher up in station. And they managed to work a truce that if they let... oh no, they didn't let him go. That, you know, given the circumstances that, you know, they were going to let the players go with the bandit commander. It happens every time it gets sucked into YouTube shorts. What do you mean? Anyways, the bandit commander is taken into custody by the players. The lady lets them go because it's like, you know, if this bandit commander got into this much trouble, then he's not worth anything, and, you know, the players might kill her, even though they'd have to get through an entire temple construct filled with other cultists. So she's like, you know what, just go. So the players having been given permission. Keep scrolling to a new video is what I mean. Yeah, that the doom scrolling is very real. That's what I was struggling with earlier. So the players with the bandit commander given the word from the lady who used one of the cultist figureheads' name as a blessing, the players were able to get through the bandit keep's river entrance without getting attacked. And they also have the bandit commander in custody. So they basically handed over the captain or the commander to the Knights of Samular. And then they went and decided to investigate another lead, which they had learned about in their previous adventures, which was the kind of noble, water-deep, like air mount enthusiasts, so like people who fly flying creatures, which were like gigantic vultures and hippogriffs. So they're like, let's go check that out. So they went to go check it out. They approached the castle for it, which was less of a castle and more of just a very large tower, which is on top of a mountain. Or maybe a large hill, I can't quite determine. And because the Waterdavian nobles / knights there were like, oh yeah, let's just have people join. So they let them join, at least, temporarily to, get them in their beginning processes of joining. They were invited to a feast that the knights, I forget what their name, like, I'm just going to call them Sky Knights for now, that the Sky Knights were having in celebration of something. Just happened to line up that the players were there at the time. But one of the planned events was that someone would burst into the banquet, which they did, and they went, look, a manticore has been sighted. A manticore is a flying mythological creature that, these knights wanted to hunt down. So the knights told the players, like, hey, you can join, but we're going to go hunt this thing. So the players were like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's go hunt this thing. So they managed, it's a little bit of a group role system, the way the module is. So they managed to not only go through the areas and spot a few interesting things, but they managed to catch up to the manticore and are now engaging in aerial combat with it, which is where we left off last time, was just before I think the initiative was rolled. Alright. That's pretty much the current D&D adventures that my players have gone through in the Princes of the Apocalypse module that I've been running. And it's been a lot of fun to run, and I highly recommend it because it's a non-linear adventure, which kind of makes it a little bit of a nightmare to run. That's the wrong button. But it's been also very fun to run for me. And I enjoy that it's non-linear because, one, kind of keeps my players on their toes. Two, literally anything can happen, of course, within the lines of the adventure. And as a DM, it's a little bit of a nightmare to run and set up for, but it also is like, even I don't know what's going to happen next. And basically, I have to follow context clues of where the players are going to go, what they're going to do, and then run those adventures as they come up. And it's been a lot of fun to run, and my players are having a lot of fun with it too. So I'm looking forward to running that on Saturday. Big yawn. I don't think I want extra caffeine, which is why I wish I had decaf tea, which I'm probably going to pick up when I go shopping on Sunday. But considering my voice and my throat are very stressed right now, I think we are going to make a tea, even though it's going to have caffeine. So, but it's going to be less caffeine than a cup of coffee, so definitely want to have a cup of tea, which will help kind of soothe my throat. Speaking of, I'm going to have a drink of water. So, got about 10 minutes left for the Skyrim segment, and then we'll be switching to some Fallout 4 modding. We'll be modding up the next run, which is going to be Stalker Tarkov themed, the big theme on difficulty and survival. We're going to be using Seasons Change, Nuclear Winter, Advanced Need 76, as well as various other survival mods. We're going to be using Gas Masks of the Wasteland, which makes it so that you have multiple options of when you need to use a gas mask. One of which is just the immersion preset, which is just you don't have to. There's also easy, so that only during rad-based storm events that you have to wear a gas mask. There's medium, so that during precipitation and rad-based weather events, you have to wear a gas mask. And then there's survival, which means you have to wear a gas mask all the time, except in interiors. I think interiors are safe. We're going to be using the medium preset, which is during precipitation and rad-based weather events that you have to wear a gas mask. I tried it on easy on the last run. Granted, the last one was very short, but I never had to wear a gas mask. I only ever wore a gas mask as an option when getting near irradiated barrels. So, and it didn't really protect me that much, so I'm like, okay, let's just use gas masks when necessary. And I basically had an oversupply of gas mask filters, so I think we're going to want it on the medium preset. We also have campsite, so that we can have nuclear winter campfires. Seasons Change is there, so that when it actually becomes winter, then we will activate nuclear winter in the MCM, of course. It's going to be there in the load order. But we'll activate it so that nuclear winter, during winter, we actually have to try and stay warm. And then, what else is going to be in the mod list? Lots of gun mods, lots of tactical outfits, that sort of thing. Going to be using various item replacers for items to be more modern. And the nice thing about the modern mods is the mod author who makes a lot of the modern replacers, by the name of Omega42, they're working on a chem bench replacer. And one of the things they're making with it is, instead of having this large barrel device with a lot of pipes and glass, it's instead going to be what looks like a table with a 3D printer on it. And I'm like, huh, I never thought somebody could do that. That's pretty cool. And I think the current status of that was they were brainstorming ideas for the actual chemistry lab version of the chemistry station, which I have a version of that where it's a little cleaner and it has more modern stuff on it. Plus it has a flat screen monitor, computer screen on it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Speaking of flat screen, we have a flat screen TV replacer for the TV item in the game. And you can add custom textures to the screen for it. And we have a special custom screen for our flat screen TV. Oh, yes. Now, the only reason I would use the regular TVs is because apparently there's a actual proper video mod for the TVs, and I just haven't looked into it yet. But I don't know how to set that up either. I don't know if it requires a .bk file extension, because I don't know how to make .bk. But basically, I want to like have videos for the TV if I can manage it. But I need to look into that, which we can do on stream today. Oh, there we go. There's that crack. Ugh. I'm going to be switching to Fallout 4 here soon, within the next few minutes. I hope you all enjoyed this Jailhouse Just Chatting. It's a good opportunity for me to just kind of yap, get my thoughts out. But because it's kind of hard on my voice, I wonder how much the back pay will be for disability. I know for me it was a good amount, but I also kind of squandered it, I think, looking back. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? I suppose it's close enough that we could just save and then move on. Take a break and make a tea. Okay. And just to see how many days we have remaining, we have 79 days remaining in jail. We went from 83 to 79. Good amount, like $20,000. I don't think it was that much, but who knows? Maybe it's based on however long you've applied for it and didn't get it. So I don't know how much I got. I know it was a lot of money, but it wasn't. I don't think it was $20,000. It might be $2,000, but I can't say with any certainty. Let's see here. Yeah. So we saved. Just need to quit out of the game. All right. So I will be back with some Fallout 4 modding. And we will see you all in a few minutes. I'm going to make a tea. I'm going to get the categories switched up and everything. But if anything, I'll see you all in a few minutes. All right. All right, we're back. A little bit of a shorter break. Didn't have to use the restroom or nothing. But we have a kettle on to boil. I do want to check Nexus. See if there's any new mods. Hmm. Okay. Let's see what's on YouTube before we jump into Fallout 4 here. Let's see what's on the YouTubes. Hopefully my YouTube recommendation is not completely finger fucked due to my doom scrolling earlier. Which is kind of why I'm not showing the screen right now. Guess I'll just take this time to clean up my YouTube recommendation. I'm just trying to find videos to watch. Guess I'm not gonna watch any videos because the kettle's about to boil, which means it'll soon be time to switch to Fallout 4 modding. Alright, kettle's boiling. Let's get that tea. Not coffee, tea. And I will see you all in a few minutes. Alright, we'll be back. We're back. Not we'll be back, we are back. With a T. Okay. Alright. Let me just make sure I'm tracking this mod. I am. Very good. So, mods for Fallout 4, shall we? Of course, we are streaming on YouTube as well. Hello, YouTube. Alright, let's bring up our Fallout 4 MO2. Oh, hold on. There's something I missed. Make sure I'm not showing it. Gonna have to download this, methinks. Gonna need that as well. I can't really show it because it's technically adult content, even though in the implementation when in my game, it will be you know, it will be safe. Sorry, my brain no worky. So get these downloaded. Okay. Ah. All right. Let's just check our list of tracked mods to see if there's anything. I know you guys can't see anything right now, and you haven't for the last couple minutes. I'm just being safe is what I'm doing. What's this? What got updated with this? This got updated as well. Okay, let's see. So I missed this mod in my initial look through. We have Far Better, Far Harbor, Exploration Expanded. Now a lot more to discover in Far Harbor. Adds 3 survival homes in Far Harbor along with several new locations to discover. Fixed Acadia interiors. It was really broken, but not it's fixed. Now it's fixed. So use it until I update the main mod. There will be another new version. Oh, there goes the timer for my tea. Let's see. Better Far Harbor open. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. What got updated here? Fixed bug where Nuka World map icon could gain the settlement stats of the transit center. Fixed bug where fast travel nets could cause the Nuka World map icon to direct to the transit center rather than the Nuka World space. I don't know if that's really worth updating. Let's see, what got updated here? No, not bugs, we want logs. Little fix to stop player from getting pushed up when grabbing a ledge. Try to get the ledge animation working as best as possible. Figure out a better way to set up animations. Okay. Let's see. This seems a little janky. I guess I'll keep it. We'll just update, I guess. Now let's stir up our tea. We have honey and milk in it. Okay. Okay. Well, what was the latest mod to be installed? The Vault 81 Trading Camp Settlement, which we have yet to test. Just make sure it's in the correct load order. It is indeed. Okay. Let's test. Mm. Oh, just cracking the old neck. Let's have some tea. Ah, very nice. Very nice on my throat. Ugh.
Good hunting, Stalker.
Okay. And then I still need to reinstall Reshade and set up my Reshade preset. It'll load, don't worry. It'll load, don't worry. Okay. All right. Let's get in there.
Боже.
Okay. Let's TGM. Let's get a gun. Sure, we'll go with Colt Python. Alright. Save. And then I believe it's... I'm hearing something. I wonder... I wonder if... Huh. I wonder if that's the real-time cover penetration framework mod working. Huh, interesting. Oh. Well, hold on. I believe there's a way we can do this. Just gonna stress test it here. Make sure I can delete a lot of things without it really breaking the game. Come on. There we go. Just stress testing is all. Let's go ahead and turn off nuclear winter. Now that it's more or less started up. Just scrap all of this. Again, we're not actually playing the game, we're just testing. Everyday chef. Ah, no! It has physics! Okay. Nice. Just testing and testing and testing. Oh no! Didn't realize it was right there. I'd rather be a trick than a square. Welcome in, kitty. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well today. Alright, let's get back to this. We're not actually playing, we're just testing. Right now, I'm stress testing the settlement mod that I just installed that adds a settlement right here. Sure, we'll delete it just for the sake of testing. Okay, well, I think this is good and scrapped. So this could be a good little trading camp. The only reason there's a disembodied fire there is because there was an explosive barrel that I blew up. And it leaves a fire. I don't know for how long, but it does. Let's just get a general test going. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Game. I think that's the real-time cover penetration framework, causing recoils when hitting certain objects with the caliber that this gun fires. Boing, boing, boing. It's like a Halloween store. Don't know why it's like ricocheting off wood. Why is it ricocheting off him? Don't understand what happened. Oh, game, you good? It's loading the area. Okay. Let's see if it does it for all guns. Hold on there, Bloodbug. Okay, so it does seem to be working correctly. Just the specific 357 Magnum caliber that I have doesn't penetrate very well, so it tends to ricochet. I don't know why, it just decides to. Which I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. Let's get to some water where we can actually test the water stuff. It do be skipping. You might be wondering, why is this bolt action rifle not bolt actioning? Because I'm in TGM, which means it ignores reloads. But still obeys rate of fire. No rocket though. Okay. But it has the warhead right there. I know. It's a little strange. We do have a brand new PKP Pecheneg mod. It's the Call of Duty one, so it's called the Pulim Yacht 762. But I'm going to be patching it to use the appropriate name. Just doing a general test. Oh, it kind of explodes when I do my landing animation. It sure is a sound. Oh, game, you good? I do plan to use the Modern Warfare gun sounds mod. Not because JSRS is worse. Not that I'm currently using JSRS, I'm just using a gun sound mod currently. But because Modern Warfare gun sounds has more unique gun sounds.
Come on now, rookie.
You're not speaking in English, or excuse me, Russian. Speak in Russian, please. Chat. That was the robot sound. It was the location discovered sound. Hold on, I have a trick for this. Behold. Sir. Long neck. Well, hold on. That's ricocheting. So some of this is ricocheting. Interesting. Oh, hi. He's like, what are you doing? Oh, that's right. You've got an AK. Still need to patch the level list for that so that the modern SWAT tactical looking DC guards look more like they're carrying proper SWAT tactical weapons and not just AKs. Game, you good? You good with the frames? Game, you good? "28 frames. Just that one specific area, I guess. Poople mutant. Dog? Why the dog dead? Brookline building? Anybody here? Strange that I'm getting 60 FPS. Cultist. Cultist. I suppose parts of Boston will be low frame rate from all the things. Oh, there goes all the draw calls. Game, you good?
Приказ не впускать вас, мисс Пайпер. Извините, такая у меня работа.
Такая работа? Чтобы защищать Даймонд-Сити, нужно не впускать меня внутрь? О, смотрите, страшная репортерша!
Прошу прощения, Пайпер, но Макдонах рвет и мечет. Говорит, что в статье сплошная ложь. Весь город теперь на ушах стоит.
Черт! Немедленно открывай ворота, Данни Салливан! Я здесь живу! Вы не можете меня прогнать!
You'd be surprised, Kitty. Get in mid-Boston without any mods. It's probably not this high, but it's pretty damn high.
Ты хочешь
No.
попасть в Даймонд-Сити, верно?
It would help if my modern car mod would not double up on the cars. Yeah, we have... Oh, that's one car. Sounds like someone didn't optimize their models. I'm definitely getting some ricochets still. Someone's got a laser gun. Who's got a laser gun? You got a laser gun? Oh, is the iBot. I like how it can wildly vary between 60 FPS and like 30. Weirdly enough, it doesn't really look like 60 FPS. It's a good thing we're doing a general test. Also, why does the rubble look like this? What the fuck? Why does it look like that? Ugh, it looks terrible. I mean, it is rubble, but damn. It's probably 60 by virtue of averaging magic. Sir? He wasn't sure if he wanted to. Mystery bacon. We got some mystery bacon. Yeah, eat his ass. Ass jerky don't make itself. Gun's got quite the recoil. Frame time is probably garbage. Yeah, it kind of feels like it. Doesn't help that I have too many mods. Yes, I did kill her. What are you gonna do about it? I had the exact same problem in Metro Exodus until I dropped the graphics preset to high. It was running at 90 FPS, but the frame pacing was so awful that it barely felt like 40. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with here. Like, it's going between 50 and some odd very quickly, which makes it look very choppy, even though it's higher than 30. See what I mean by they react to getting hit? Sir? Now it's low, 38. Jesus. That's kind of a problem with the base game is, unless you're using specific optimizers, and I still am, you can get pretty low FPS in Boston, even with computers that are quote-unquote as good as mine. Imagine playing this in 2015 and not having the hardware to run at a decent frame rate, simply because Boston is just unoptimized. 25 frames, 19,000 draw calls. What is in this area that's doing that? Oh, look, 60 frames. Nice. Quality gameplay experience. And it's not entirely Bethesda's fault that I'm getting this low a frame rate, because I am using 1,000 some mods. But I think the only mods that are really touching a lot of the inner city of Boston, for the most part, is my optimizer. The Boston FPS fix all in one. Even with that, the gunplay still looks really weak. It is what it is. You should see Fallout New Vegas' gunplay. Oh, I've got an ant on the wall? Bro, why you want a wall? Why? Unless it's like just a really long spider. It almost looks like a jumping spider that's a little big. Oh, I think it's a jumping spider. Oh, little guy. Little jumping spider guy. But it could be an ant. It's a little long. I was watching a stream last night and someone in chat was complaining that Fallout 76 was running at like 30 FPS on his 4080. Honestly, these games are such a ridiculous mess. Does Todd just not believe in optimization? No, you should upgrade. It's time to upgrade. Does he even have people testing his games on low, mid-range PCs? He doesn't have people testing his games on mid to high-range PCs. Can't even say it right. They're just straight up unoptimized. I mean, they can be fun games, in my opinion. But God, the FPS is bad here, and everywhere else it's pretty okay, with a few frame issues. But oh, hi. Sir? He's shooting a BB gun at me. Now the funny part is, the mod that adds the 416 airsoft BB gun has the BB gun doing 1 billion damage, which I think is a shit post. But it also adds actual rifles like a 416, a 416N. It's got a 417. It's really the only mod that has the HK 417. Which is why I added it, but even in the mod description it says, this is very experimental. Use at your own risk. And I'm using at my own risk. Oi. Getting smacked by a high velocity plastic ball still hurts. If it's on bare skin, I suppose so. But, like, it does like 1,000 damage, which is really funny. Because then you can just, like, one-shot people with the BB gun. But I will be patching that so it doesn't do that much. Dare I say it's less lethal. It's certainly a lot less lethal than, like... You can see some of my shots ricocheted off the turret. I made sure to add the Stronger Synths, Robots, and Turrets mod. Which makes this turret not die right away, because it's made of metal. Alright, I think I got a better weapon for this. Not that, because I don't have any ammo for it. But yeah, we because that's one problem I have. I also added the boss NPC overhaul again, so that Deathclaws and Super Mutant Behemoths, sir, Damn. So that Death Claws and Super Mutant Behemoths don't die in a couple hits. Because I like it when boss-type enemies are actually a little bit bullet spongy. Just so I don't just do 2 shots and they're dead. And then I also, as I said, had the stronger synths, robots, and turrets. So that synths, robots, turrets, and the like don't just die in one well-placed shot. Come on.
Чего?
DF released their graphics analysis of Hellblade 2. Gonna watch that. It is a good-looking game.
Последняя ошибка. Зажигаем.
And from what I saw of Hellblade 2 last night, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Least of all because I didn't really have context for what I saw, so I don't really remember it too well. But it's getting kind of like, oh, it's mid, it's bad. It's like, bro, gamers just can't understand actual art. And it just reinforces my belief that gamers are fucking stupid. Gamers are like, we want these things, like actual relatable characters and characters who struggle and have self-doubts and, oh, but this game that does that, we don't like it. It's like, shut the fuck up. Gamers, shut the fuck up. It falls under the purview of don't think, just consume product. Don't think, just hate product. Sir?
Кто? Последняя ошибка. Огонь!
Almost shot him in the leg. All-time peak was 3.9 people. 3.9k people, that is.
Ну давай, скотина.
Which, to be fair, it's an indie game, so it's not gonna get like 1 billion people. Sir? I gotta drink some water. Damn, you got a gun case that's also gillied up? Oh, I blew his fucking arm off, bro. He running. Come back here. Alright, I'll deal with your friend. He died. Assuming he bled out. Hold still.
Ты труп.
Opachki. Dick shot. I am enjoying this, like, hit recoil mod. Or rather, hit react, I guess is the term. 60 FPS for at least a few seconds. First one had 5.6. I'm also not saying the game doesn't have flaws or doesn't have things that some people would find bad. But what I am saying is, some people are like, oh, it's so bad, it's bad, it's, oh, let's get outraged at the latest thing. And it's like, it's really not, oh, interesting. It's really not that bad. It's actually pretty good from what I saw. And it's got things that gamers say they want in games, and then when the game provides it, they're like, no, it's bad. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think this is another case of gamers being stupid. I don't know what's wrong with it or not, but it's certainly concerning. I don't know. I know what's going to happen is 3 years or so from here, you know, after Ninja Theory was closed down, likely. It hasn't been yet, but it will likely be closed down. 3 years from now, people will go, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 was a hidden gem. While 3 years prior, everyone was like, oh, it's so bad. But then you'll have people going, oh, it's actually good. And it's like, gamers can't make up their fucking mind. least of all with the Assassin's Creed Shadows issue, which, subjective opinion, I have no problem with, but it could still turn out bad. But I think this is a case of gamers are just wrong about this one. We're pretty right a lot of the time, but they're just wrong about those two things. Assassin's Creed Shadow and Hellblade 2. Gran Turismo 7? Kind of? I'm not even fully sure what happened with Gran Turismo 7, other than there was some, like, monetization issues. Like, you know, and sure, that's a good enough reason to get mad at people over. Or mad at game companies over. Like with Escape from Tarkov. Gamers as a whole got mad at it because of the pricing and the fact that they kind of baited and switched. But Tarkov fans have been hating the game since it came out. Game came out, people liked it, and then nothing. And then Polyphony Digital did some questionable things, which raised a shitstorm without ruining a game as a whole, and suddenly everyone forgot about it. I see. And of course, I want Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed Shadows to be good. I want it to be awesome. Knowing Ubisoft, I don't think it's going to be awesome. Knowing they have DEI stuff, even though I'm not entirely against such a thing, it's probably going to be bad, but I'm keeping an open mind. In fact, there's a perfect video for this. There's a perfect video. I can't say what's in the video, but I'll let the actual creator say it, because he's allowed to say it. Oh, hold on. The audio is muted.
I am Mighty Key. Big news, everyone. We have a new Assassin's Creed on the way. And it's going to be in Japan. Finally. Oh, my God.
You are still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea.
This is a literal dream come true, bro. Yes, sir. After all this time, we're finally going to Japan.
And I still gotta see you niggas.
What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that, man? Damn.
I still gotta be around you, big-lipped, baboon beast.
Bro, what was that?
We go to Greece, and I get a greasy person. We go to France, we get a France person. So why can't I get a Japan person?
You do, though. You got two protagonists, and one's a native Japanese woman.
I said person! And women aren't real people.
Hey, yo!
I'm supposed to believe a small Asian woman is gonna take down 3 6-foot-tall ninjas?
Okay, we're talking about Japan during the feudal era. Those dudes probably capped out at like 5'7". Where's my historical accuracy? Why is it so dark in here? Brother, in one of the games, we fight Anubis on a flaming horse. I think the real issue is, in order to get the Ultimate Edition, we gotta put down a damn mortgage payment. Why aren't we talking about that?
I'm sick and tired of all this DEI in my game.
What does that even stand for?
Stands for too many niggas.
That's not how acronyms work. Also, one of the missions is locked behind a season pass. Why aren't we talking about that?
How am I supposed to blend in with a crowd of Asians being a 6'2" basketball person? The assassin part is when you're playing the Asian woman. They say it in the trailer.
Has anyone even asked the Japanese how they feel? Why aren't we talking about that?
It's too blatant. All right, they're trying to push an agenda and make everything woke.
Now, I will admit, there are times these game industries will definitely pander to a certain demographic for some money, likes, or whatever. But it's not every single time you see a black person as a protagonist. Also, can you make your points without sounding incredibly racist?
Monkey!
Oh, I'm done here. Sick of this modern media. I'm gonna go play a real samurai game. Like Neo.
Or that's just crazy.
Let's see here. Suddenly, Fartza motor shit. I love that. 8 comes out being worse than its 2013 predecessor, and suddenly Gran Turismo 7 is amazing again. The Japanese. I just wanted to play as a male samurai. Okay. I don't know. I feel like they're still wrong on this one. And Mighty Keith, is correct, saying, I'm going to play a real samurai game like Neo, where you play as a white man. Don't get me wrong. That's still a story that can be told in a positive way. Because I forget the name of the character in Neo 1, but he was a real, historically non-native Japanese person in a samurai game that you get to play as. If Assassin's Creed Shadows had you playing as a white Portuguese person, which is, I think, what the missionaries that brought Yasuke over were. I think they were Portuguese. If you were playing as a white Portuguese person, no one would complain. No one would say shit. And don't get me wrong, if it was a white Portuguese person, I think it'd be fine. Just in the same way that I think Yasuke, an actual historical person, being put in a theoretical, hypothetical scenario where he gets to be a badass character, a badass, maybe not samurai, but certainly dressed as one. Like, I think that's fine too. It's not like Kingdom Come where it's like, yeah, there was black people in Bohemia, but they would have been very, very much a minority to the point where you might see one in the biggest city. Considering it's a landlocked region in Europe. Like, in the middle of Europe. So it wouldn't be impossible to see it. To see like a black person or a Middle Eastern person. But people are calling for like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And they did it for Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. Where, like, oh, why isn't 50 or more % of the population anyone that's not white? I was like, well, because it's in medieval Bohemia. What do you expect? Oh, they're being racist. I was like, I don't think so. And the whole thing of Daniel Vavra, the lead kind of creator on Kingdom Come Deliverance, oh, he's a racist. It's like, well, no, he's just clapping back at y'all. Y'all were making assumptions about him, made him into a villain, and then, well, guess what? Now he's gonna be a villain. Good job. You just created your own problem. So, like, at least with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, let's hit you with some music. At least with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and 1, like, would it make sense for there to be a couple of non-white people in the bigger cities? Yeah, that'd be fine. Is it a crime against the entire history of everybody for a game set in primarily a white area showing white people? I don't think it's a problem. I think people are making it a problem. It's the same thing as the whole orcs are racist problem that D&D had a little bit ago. It's like, no one thought it was a problem until you made it a problem. No one thought that. And basically the kind of reaction that I had to it was, let's say it's D&D. You walk into a tavern, and then you exclaim at the top of your lungs to the attention of everyone in the tavern, orcs are depicted as black people, so therefore orcs are black people, so therefore orcs are racist. What the people in the tavern are gonna do, like, the bard music is gonna stop with a record scratch and everything. Everyone's gonna turn around, look at that person with, like, both disgust and resentment, not say a damn word, and turn around and get back to drinking booze. It's like, no one thought that. No one made it a problem until you made it a problem. You being this made-up person on Twitter that I like to make fun of. That did exist. So, yeah. KCD guy is very good for not bending the knee. Yeah. I feel like people would still complain for not getting to play a Japanese guy in Japan. Some people would, but in my opinion, I think the people who would complain about playing as a non-Japanese person if they were white would be the exact opposite end of the spectrum. It would be the DEI kind of people saying, why aren't we playing as a Japanese person? So what this tells me is everyone is a clown. Except me. I'm awesome. Completely forgotten about the orcs equals racism thing. I think what it was is it was a slow day on Twitter, so they had to come up with something to drive a culture spike or whatever. It's like they had to make something up. Now, there is a case to be made in the orcs are racist kind of thing, where people are like, orcs have been depicted wearing Mongolian-style armor. Counterpoint. Mongolians aren't black people. They're still Asian. We shouldn't be racist to them. We shouldn't be racist to anyone. But counterpoint number 2. Orcs look good in Mongolian-style armor. They fit it out so good, it looks awesome. There's a reason they had them wear it, because it looks good. It's awesome armor. Who wouldn't want to wear that armor? I think it's great. I'm pausing the video for no reason. So how much time we got left? We still got plenty of time. So like when these like painfully white people go on Twitter and go, orcs are racist because they're depicted as black people. It's kind of like, what are you trying to say? Maybe you're the racist one for projecting? Like, what the fuck? And there's been actual so many cases of quote-unquote woke white people claiming they're against racism, against problematic things that do exist. Not going to sugarcoat it. They do exist, these problematic things. And then just being documented as being racist and being awful. So it's kind of like when I see all these, and I don't like to use the term woke, which is why I'm saying it with emphasis to put air quotes on it. When these woke people try to paint themselves as the good guy, and then they do the exact same thing that they would, you know, beat people over in protests for, they're doing. So it leads me to believe that I should not trust these people. So, yeah. Just be nice. Be nice to everyone. Doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, just be nice to them. Well, you're telling me a race of fantasy green people is allowed to wear armor and clothes based off real-life cultures? Bigot. Yeah, we have no problem with fantasy races wearing, like, European-style armor, which also looks good on different fantasy races. I don't see the problem. Let's see, what am I looking at here? Let's see, we had Vault 81... which was the last one. Charles View Amphitheater Settlement. Grow the cult. Causes Charles View Amphitheater to recruit more cultists rather than settlers when using the recruitment radio beacon. Causes cultists to generate 8 bonus happiness for the settlement they're in. For comparison, Junkyard Dog produces 10. Sure. I'll have to go watch the Hellblade review. Enjoy. Hope you have good fun with watching it. The game does look very good. Well, The fire effects in it don't look that good, but the rest of the game does look pretty good. But then again, a lot of games get fire effects very poorly. But yeah, I think gamers are wrong about the Assassin's Creed Shadows thing. I think they're wrong about Hellblade 2. You know, I think we're starting to see the turnaround of, you know, gamers rightfully calling out these bad AAA game company problems. I think we're slowly turning around to gamers just complaining for the sake of complaining. They're just bitching about nothing now. I think gamers, including a ton of other groups of people, including myself, should unironically put down the phone, log off, and go outside. It's that simple. It's just that shrimple. Launching the game, it's just taking a while. Come on, game.
Good hunting, Stalker.
And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of gaming things to be upset about. Such as, you know, Helldivers 2 basically being killed. Sony's general policy about PC ports requiring a PSN account, which is not the big deal. It's really not that big of a deal. But just because it requires a PSN account for a lot of their PC ports, it's gonna be banned in more than 2/3 of the world. So it's like, I don't know, Sony, you're kind of fucked up on that one. And Microsoft fucking up by basically putting games on Game Pass, which can kill them, and then be like, oh, this game company, this studio that made a very successful game, nah, close them. Shut them down. It's like, okay, Microsoft, it's kind of fucked up. Nintendo, being absolute pieces of shit to their own consumer base, the general price of video games going up, with the quality going down. And who knows? Maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows will actually be genuinely bad. Which is why my hopes are high, but my expectations are low. Least of all, X Defiant is apparently out now, and there was almost no marketing for the game, except for maybe like, oh, we got some streamers to give an early showcase of the game. Okay, well, that doesn't really work. That's not the only thing you can do for marketing. So in my opinion, when it comes to X Defiant, which, by the way, I don't particularly like the concept of the game, but they basically sent it to die by basically having no marketing. I have not seen a single X Defiant ad on Twitch over the last like 4 months that I can remember. And since Twitch loves to showcase so many different, it loves to showcase the same ads over and over and over again so many times, you'd think I would remember an ad that gets played constantly. Just like I kept seeing the Skull and Bones ads. You know, they didn't skimp on the marketing for that, but the game still sucked. So it's kind of like Ubisoft, if you're gonna make a game, have confidence in your product. Show it in marketing. Buy ads for it on Twitch, YouTube, etc. Like, I feel like X Defiant was just sent to die. Which, you know, does not fill me with confidence for a potential Ghost Recon sequel. Getting a message on my phone. I mentioned earlier that there's some family issues going on right now with some health stuff. So I want to make sure I stay abreast of this information. Oh, and more severe storms, huh? Tornadoes, hail, high winds, and floods expected till Memorial Day. Okay, let me just check these messages. Bear with, folks. Okay. Dealing with some family stuff, so just trying to stay informed and updated. Okay, let's see. Where was this again? Ah. Charles View set? Oh, also we finished our tea, so I can get rid of the sign. Which is why I need to get like icons that show that I'm having tea and not necessarily words. And if anything, I want to see if I can find an animated icon for it. Because, yeah, we got to do some, like, OBS housekeeping so we can get some new things on in the OBS scenes.
Боже.
Okay. We're going to TGM. And then we're going to get a location. So Fallout 4 Charles View. Charles View Amphitheater. Charles View Amphitheater EXT. Okay. Get to know. We're TGM'd. Hold on. Sure, let's get a Okay. There's a problem. Yes, I'm still testing.
Хочешь узнать о нашем движении?
Oh my god, game.
Почему бы и нет?
So what is it conflicting with? Clean and smooth settlements, huh? So why is it specifically here?
Я надеюсь, сегодня ты решишься изменить свою жизнь. Всегда жду новых членов.
Don't worry about the broken gun, we'll fix it. Pop!
Она мертва.
Надо было напрашиваться. Надо было с нами связываться.
Alright. Let's see. What is conflicting with this? Alright, let's see. What's in the order that's conflicting? Alright, let's see. Let me kill the game. Alright, let's see. Bugs. Cell reset CTD. Hmm. 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 Ah. Okay. Ah. Got crust off. Okay, who's this in ESL? Huh? Oh man. Oh. Ugh. Okay, well this seems like it has a shitload of patches, so I don't think I'm gonna grab it. Hmm. So guess we open up X edit. Ugh. Man, the sneezing really took it out of me. Mm. Alright. Let's see. Hmm. Trying to see what could possibly be causing this issue. Well, let me try just removing the 2 add-ons for it, seeing if that works. Okay. Just go back in and test again. If we're able to, we'll just test from the main menu. Come on, game. There we go. Just gonna bitch a little.
Good hunting, Stalker.
Don't worry, it'll load. Totally gonna load. Oh. The finger cracks. Oh. I feel like that was a fluke, but that does mean that we're gonna have to sit and load again, and I might as well make a new character at this point, just to get everything to work correctly. That's the problem with modding, is sometimes it will crash on a fluke, which means you have to sit and load the game again. Okay, let's try this way then. Gonna go watch some RDR2? Alright, enjoy. Oh, felt it. I felt the cracks in my whole arm. Welcome back. Was the video good? Were you impressed? Game looks insane. I thought as much, judging from what I saw last night on a stream. Okay, please no crashy. Sounds insane. I didn't really get to enjoy the audio too much, simply because at the time that I was watching the stream, I had the audio coming out of the TV, because I don't like to wear headphones all the time. I like to take them off. Alright, let's see. After removing... After removing the add-ons for the Charles Views Amphitheater settlement, and it being pretty much the second to last mod loaded in the load order, the last mod, of course, being a script override protection for Workshop Framework. If this doesn't work, then it's clearly the mod. Photo mode can be activated at any point, including in cutscene. Photo mode lets you place customizable lights anywhere. That sounds awesome. Oh, someone's getting shot.
Боже.
Okay. Let the visuals load. Save. TGM. Save again. And then we'll head over to Charles View Amphitheater EXT. Please no crash, eh? Please work, eh? Oh. Especially considering the only things really touching the area for the Charles View Amphitheater cell is like the base game and a loot mod that removes placed loot items. So when it's like, oh no occlusion planes because the precombines were broken, it's kind of like, if that's the last mod and the other mods touching the area are really just one, it's kind of like maybe the mod is broken. Okay. Yeah, it's still broken. I guess the next thing we do is... I guess the next thing we do is remove the mod that makes this place a settlement and see if it's actually this mod. And again, the only things really touching this area is the base game, a loot mod, and the settlement mod. So I'm a little confused as to what could be touching it. Don't worry about the broken gun model. It will be fixed. I don't say anything wrong, just looks like a normal Todd Howard design. This is like running Dindalot and getting fucked up occlusions because you didn't choose the right settings. It's also affecting a hallucinogen, but nothing this far in this direction. Here's hallucinogen. Oh, he getting the stretchy neck. So it's gotta be the settlement mod because this is very close to hallucinogen. Well, I guess we remove the mod and see if it still does this. Okay. Who's got the suppressor? Okay, well, time to remove the mod, see what happens. See if it is indeed that mod. But I think we're gonna have to do that next time. Let's find somebody to raid, perhaps. For those on YouTube, I will see you tomorrow for some Ghost Recon Wildlands. For those of us on Twitch, I don't really see anyone to raid. Let's see. Okay, well then I will just go offline. Alright. I will see you all tomorrow for some Ghost Recon Wildlands. And then we might do a stream on Sunday, but yeah, we'll see you all later. I will see you tomorrow. And if anything, we'll see you later. Bye-bye!